Good morning. My name is Marissa. I am the CEO of TCS Consultant and the editor-in-chief of Own It Magazine. I'm excited to be here. On this platform, we focus on organizational development, leader member exchange, impact, impact on its employees, its workforce. And I'm super excited today to have with me one of my partners, love her dearly, CEO executive Jacqueline Lulu Brown, and she is here with me this morning to talk about her upcoming empowerment retreat in 2023 in regards to why it's important for us to take on these retreats, especially when we are aiming to achieve high level goals. And so, without further ado, taking center stage and owning it with me this morning is Jacqueline Lulu Brown. Jacqueline, Revolution Ascension. Girl, you are always a mouthful of such impact. And as we, embark upon this conversation this morning in regards to why it's so important for us to take on these kind of retreats for women, and not only women should be doing this, but men should be doing it as well.
Yes.
We all need to we all need to reprieve. We need to step away and get refreshed, rejuvenated. And I just want to run some stats
Hmm.
on on this because we talk about women and how women sacrifice a great
Right.
deal, but I think we all sacrifice, and that's why
Hmm.
I go back to we can't be stressed out. We've
No.
got to. We're so afraid to step away from things
Right.
for the fear of them all falling apart, right? We're worried about it. And some people who have a high level, and we don't talk about it, of insecurity, want to control. They just want to control, 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 control,
Hmm.
realizing that they're burning themselves out. So,
Absolutely.
according to Holistic, and hopefully I'm saying that right, Global Women Health Index, and I can share the link for those people who need it. 43% of women, this is focused on women, are worried. 41% are stressed out.
Hmm.
32 are sad.
Hmm.
And 26% are angry. This all happens, and then own it. TCS is all about self-awareness, right? You need to know yourself. You need to self-develop. So once you know yourself, you need to develop yourself to be
Right.
intentional. These numbers are high numbers, and
Yes.
they're high because of boundaries being invaded. They're
Hmm.
being invaded. You're not taking the stance to say this is what's healthy for me. You're not doing the right things, and so as a result you are worried, right? As a result you are stressed, as a result you are sad, as a result you are angry. And I know that if I don't have enough me time, or if I don't set my day off right, it's not a controlling thing. It's more of a thing of saying, I know that I need this. I
Hmm.
need this in order for me to take on the day the way that I should, and to be a most effective leader. And so that draws into why it's so important for retreats such as yours that help to step away, get refreshed, get reconnected with self, and get realigned. So, talk to us about what you've been doing over the years that have brought you to this place, and what folks can expect for being a part of what you're doing with this retreat. And for those of you who don't know, I am headed to that. I'm so excited to be a part of it, and I will be at the retreat. Looking forward to the refreshing because as I have leveled up over the last 3 years and stepping into the fullness of my own vision that I believe God has given to me, I know the need of this. I know the need. It's like a spa treatment on such a high level, right?
So, Marisa, thank you so much for having me today. It's always a pleasure. And you gave some stats. And I want to start with first that I had all of that. Every single thing. There was a point in time in my career where I had all those things. And you're 100% right. For some reason, especially we as women, we feel like everything's gonna, just fall apart if we're not there. But one of the key things in being a good leader is that things should run very smoothly. And a good leader is a leader that actually leads themselves out of their current position. I mean, I didn't wake up one day just like that. It was trial and error. But I really learned that my strength was building other leaders and making sure that at any point in time, I could just say to my leadership, I'm done. What do you have next for me? Because
Right.
now that means I'm ready for my next level. So it's important for us to lead ourselves out of where we are. In order to do that, we have to take a break. There has to be time. Now, I was in technology. So, just like a technologist and an engineer has to keep up with the newest, latest, and greatest. So, you have to make sure that you take time to go to those conferences. It's the same thing with our professional development. We have to make sure that we are taking time to step away because all of those emotions and the stats that you gave with them are very, very real. And my passion has been to help women not experience what I did. I have
Mhm.
a friend, and her mom once told her, and I've held on to this when she shared it to me. She said, learn from others' mistakes because you'll never live long enough to make them all yourself. And that stayed with me. And we don't want to see others make the mistakes that we made. And how we avoid that, one, as leaders, whether it's organizations or whether it is just small businesses, is to make sure that development is being invested in our people. And the second way that we do that is to make sure that we are not burnt out,
Yeah.
that we are always refreshed. And that is what is going to help us to soar. So my biggest passion, you mentioned things about anger along with that
Mhm.
burnt out feeling. My passion is that every woman lives a life that sings to her soul.
Yeah.
And I've got that. That's part of anything you read
Yes.
about me. But that is my passion. Our daily life should literally sing to our soul in such a joyful way. Now I know there's challenges and we know that we have difficult times just like now. We have pandemics, we have inflation. But there should be a part of us that actually is able to be resilient through all of that without the anger and without being burnt out. So
Yeah.
that's that is my most thing that I want to be remembered for is the impact that I have been able to make in others' lives, that they are truly soaring, not just we talk about greatness and excellence, and honestly, I'm not really impressed with excellence or greatness. What moves people is when you are phenomenal.
Yes.
You are just blazing in your genius. And it
Yeah.
takes all of these development programs, such as the ones that you provide, Marissa, in order to get to that place.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the retreat is in 2023. What's the dates for the retreat?
The retreat is March 26th to April 1st.
Mm-hmm.
We kick it off, and as you know, in Dubai on Sunday, and that's going to be our welcome reception in the evening. And everybody gets their little swag bag, and we're going to have a little mini session. We're going to get to know each other, but we're going to prepare ourselves to receive on Monday morning. And what's lovely about this is that we have morning sessions, but after lunch, it is fun. It's really having fun. And that's important. If you go to any conference, and I used to go to the big technology conferences such as IBM, EMC, who is now, and VMware, who are now owned by Dell, Oracle. When you go to those types of conferences, they always have this thing called customer appreciation, and they either take you to something, they bring someone in for a concert, or they take you somewhere. And
Yeah.
it's really for you to have fun. And I think the most impressive that I've ever attended, where I got everything I needed to learn from a technology perspective, but I came back excited, refreshed, motivated, and ready to take my team to the next level, was an IBM conference that I attended in Disney. And what they did is they literally bought out Universal Studios for the entire night. It was closed down to the public. And they put all of the attendees on these buses and took us over to Universal. And
Oh,
we literally had the entire park to ourselves. That means every restaurant, you could just walk into all of the eateries, you could get on, see all the exhibits, get on the rides. It was absolutely fabulous. And if you had your family with you could do that with your family as well. And
wow.
I thought that that was so genius of them, because they took people away from even being burnt out from all of the new information, because you can get burned out being at some of those technology
Right,
conferences. And I
right.
just thought that that was so um, unique that they would do something like that. You know, who shuts down a park and takes everyone to something that is for children, for adults, for everyone? So
Right.
you got to be a kid that night. And I'll tell you, I think that may have been one of my high performing years when I went to that conference and came back and just led
Yes.
my team into the next phase.
Yes, because it rejuvenates your energy. It also speaks to your value. So, what organizations don't, may or may not be aware of, it's called POS, perceived organizational support. If I perceive that my company loves me, they're taking care of me, then I'm going to perform well for them. And so, as leaders, if you want to get rid of worry, if you want to get rid of stress, POS is also our responsibility. So, even as a leader, CEO of my own company, I have to make sure that those people who partner with me, who believe in this vision that I have, that they have a high level of POS, perceived organizational support, that they know that I want to promote them as well as I want to promote myself. I want to see them successful as well as I want to see myself successful. And so you said something very, very important. We got to bring out the kid in us. We got to get a release in us. We got to be able to be in that winter wonderland, or that place that we can be on. And it's funny because as I'm preparing for tonight's show, sweetheart, before I say I do, I talk about maturity and playfulness, how there needs to be a balance in the love relationship. And so the same thing needs to be a balance in our lives. Women, we get older, we become moms, we become, wives, and we get so serious that we lose letting ourselves go and be free. You said a lot. You talked about the importance of leaders developing other leaders. Why do we want to do that? Why is that critical? Because when we cultivate and develop others who are underneath us, that are coming up, behind us and under our wings, when we develop them to be independent, we don't have to worry when we leave. We know that we are leaving the project, we're leaving the business, we're leaving the company, everything we're leaving in good hands, that they are capable, because why? We pour that into them. And now we are helping them to grow by putting trust in them, that they are able to do this. And it alleviates the worry and concern, because if you really poured into them the way that you should have, and they were really open up to the training and development that you provided, you know that the skills, the competencies are all there. Stress gets released when you have faith.
Mhm.
The stress part is about believing in the people and resting and knowing that you've done the work. Anger, I believe, comes from giving up. You've given up so much of yourself that now you're mad, but you made that choice. You made that choice, and now you have to regain it. And I believe that these retreats, your retreat, Dubai, getting away from it all, lets you be you escape. And I just really, before we really go in, Sacha, I want to say good morning to you. Yolanda, good morning to you, and those who have chimed in, good morning to you. You need to be away from home. You gotta, the Bible told, he told Abraham, get away from your kindred, get away from your people, because I want to show you some things, and I need you to be set aside. I need you to be isolated. I need you to evacuate your current environment so that I am able to speak to you clearly in such a way that you don't have any noise, that now you can speak to me. And you are doing this retreat at the top of the year. It's still the first quarter of the year. So there's plenty of opportunity for you to grab hold of what God has given to you. We are changing in seasons, and we need to level up. If we're believing God for greatness, we're going to have to sow in ourselves. And companies do this, don't they? They also sow. So you need to be knowledgeable about what, if you're in a leadership position or any kind of position, find out what your companies offer you as leadership development or career development. Is there some kind of reimbursement or something that you can do with these kind of retreats? Am I correct? Because I know that there's organizations that help with career development. They offer funding for career development to a certain degree, depending on how you present it to the company, because this is leadership development. You talk about radical, transformational, authenticity, spiritual alignment. You go into so much that captures the holistic part of this approach to development and transformation. Talk a little bit about how they can find out more in depth. I know you have mastery classes surrounding this so that people, because this is a big major move. Dubai is not something that they can do, and it's important for them, if they're interested, to get themselves. If you don't have your passport, now is the time for you to get your passport so that you're able to travel. That's important. And know at this time, so it's not too early for them to really start looking at this seriously, getting connected with you seriously, finding out all the details of what's going to be expected and offered, so that they can be prepared, stress free, worry free, right? And they can start getting glad that they're doing something for themselves. And so, talk to them about how they can connect with you in a deeper way as they prepare for this new journey.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you. The first thing is they can attend every 2 weeks. We have a webinar, and that webinar is for folks that are considering going and for folks that have already signed up. And what we do during that seminar is or I'll say webinar, what we are doing is we are giving a little, I'm going to say mini masterclass. So we give a little taste of each one of our themes because each day has a theme. And we just give just a little bit so that they can have some insight into the topics. And as you called off, spiritual alignment, authenticity. We let them know that this isn't woo 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 and what angle and what time is the moon and the stars. When we talk about spiritual alignment, we're talking about who you are deep within authentically. We're talking about within your spirit and how you align who you are with what you do. And so there's so many of those subjects that you called off, and we give a little taste of that. But then the rest of the time during the webinar is we educate. We educate about the Dubai, Abu Dhabi, the Middle East. We talk about culture. Now, I have a bit of an advantage because I've been to Dubai about 8 times. I've been to India probably about, I don't know, 20 times because that was part of my career. So I have been to Israel and to Australia because I had worldwide responsibilities. All of the information from a cultural perspective, because the one thing that I was very big on, Marissa, is that when I went into another culture, just because those people reported into my organization that I had responsibility for, and we were a US based company, did not mean that I should not respect their culture. So I took time to learn the details around every culture because my goal was to help people to succeed while remaining authentically who they are. I did not want to change the culture of the people in India because they were working for an American company. I wanted them to be successful, but still be who they are and be true to themselves. And people were pretty surprised about that. They were very surprised when I would schedule my trips during their peak holidays. They would say, well, this is holiday for India all week. Okay, well, I'm going to be there because I want to be part of your
Right.
culture. They report into an organization that I'm responsible for. So, how could I help develop people and I not understand anything about their culture?
Yeah.
And so it wasn't about trying to Americanize people, it was getting to know who they were at
Mhm.
their very essence. So these
Mhm.
are all the things that I share on those calls. I want people to have a feel of, in this particular retreat, here's the culture, here's what you want to understand, but most importantly, here is what you're going to witness and experience that's going to help take you to the next level, or as I like to say, ascension. This is going to help you ascend to your next
That's
level,
it like
which
that.
is why I picked Dubai. I mean, that is the business hub of the Middle East. And no matter what a person is doing, if they're in their own business or they're working in a corporation, being in that atmosphere and going and having the activities while doing all of the learning, it is an experience that literally, I'm sorry, for what they're going to receive, you really can't put a price on that. It
No, you
really
can't.
is priceless. Their outcomes are going to be priceless.
Yeah. Yeah. When you go into another culture, it gives you another level of appreciation if you're open to respecting it. So some folks are not open to respecting other cultures. They don't understand. They don't want to understand. But when you are open to other cultures, when you're appreciative of life and life experiences, and you're appreciative of diversity, right? So when you appreciate diversity and you look at it as a beautiful thing, as a thing that can expand your mind, your heart, and your experiences, you value that. And when you see people, when you really see people, you have such a respect for them, even when you don't agree. You have such a respect for them, and that's love.
Yes.
That is love, because love does not say you have to be like me. You have to do things like I do. But to understand how you do things, why you do things, and why you value them, that's so important. Then it takes me right to the point that I wanted to make about when you talked about getting into your own spirituality, aligning with your own spirituality. That's critical because your spirituality is based on your core values. It's how you see the world, it's how you perceive the world, it's how you want to interact with the world based on your principles, based on your own principles. Not that you're beholding other people to live by your principles. It's just that this is who I am, unapologetically, and respectfully. It's me, right? And so core values is what comes into alignment, and that's why it's so important for folks to know thyself. Know what makes you tick. Know what ticks you off. Know what's important to you. In that lies your alignment with your purpose and calling, right? It's a part of how you were wired and designed by your creator. And so core values are so critical. And like you said, the alignment, spiritual alignment is so important because spiritual alignment also leads you to authenticity. Once you are aligned with your core values and your heart's convictions, once you know them, you can live them, right? If you're ignorant to your own self, that's why you're walking in falsehoods, because you don't know yourself and you're trying to figure out why you don't feel fulfilled. You're trying to figure out what's wrong. It's because, and that's why you're worried. You're worried that people are going to discover that you don't know who you are. You're worried and you're stressed out about holding all of this together. You're worried and stressed out, and you're sad because you're not in alignment. Because even when life throws you the worst curve ever, you'll feel bad because we mourn. Christ mourned. We will mourn sad moments and we will be mad about those moments.
Yes.
But the vindication and the comeback is there because you love yourself too much to let yourself go so low. And you have lived in your authenticity enough to know that you have nothing to prove to anyone. And that's where the ascension and the freedom comes up. And we talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That's when true actualization, self actualization takes place. So let us know, when's your next webinar? How can people sign up to experience this life changing event? Because it is an event. Because when you come up out of this, you should not be the same. I'm listening to TD Jakes, and he says disruptors are true evangelists. We come in and we disrupt your comfortability, and not disrupt it so that you are uncomfortable. We're disrupting it so that you can get into proper alignment with what you're called to do. The clock is ticking. It's not for us to be anxious, but for us to become awakened and conscious too. The clock is ticking. When do we finally get it? And this is one of the opportunities for a divine appointment, right? And so share with them how they can get connected with you, and how they can follow you. And if they want to get on your email list or anything like that so they don't miss out on the announcement and what's next, please let them know how they can connect with you.
Absolutely. Thank you. They can register. It's really simple. I have Eventbrite links. It's on the 17th. That's next week. And we have them every 2 weeks. But the next webinar to talk about Dubai and to get a little taste of what you're going to experience in Dubai is on the 17th. And you can go to our business Facebook page and it's posted right there. And there is an event bright link and you just sign up. Another way that you can do that is they can go to my personal page. It's posted in both places. Revolution Ascension is also on LinkedIn. So they can go to any of the social media sites, even on Instagram. I also have posted. So you can find our webinars on any one of those avenues. And you can also email us because all of those places capture your email. The other thing that I like to let people know, Marissa, is that they can get a 30-minute free consultation call with me. You
Wow.
know, they may say, yeah, I was on the webinar, but I'm not sure, or maybe I need to know more. They can just go to our business Facebook page, and that's on Facebook, Revolution Ascension. And when they go there, there's a book button and it doesn't cost anything. The calendar is going to come up. They can click, they can select their day and time, and I'm going to send them a questionnaire. And my
Mhm.
purpose for that is that I want them to get the most out of their 30 minutes. I don't want it to just be, well, here, I want you to go to Dubai. I'm really genuinely interested in what their struggles are. And
Yeah.
that 30 minutes is for us to have conversation, for them to ask me whatever is on their heart, and for me to provide them as much as I can within that 30 minutes, because that's how you get comfortable and you get to know someone to make a decision. Do you want to go all the way to the Middle East with that person?
Yeah.
So those
Yeah.
are the ways that they can reach out by either registering for the webinar or signing up for the free consult. And again, you can book that on our business Facebook page.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm looking forward to the trip. I need the trip. I know, and I'm looking forward to getting on one of those camels. I gotta do the camel. I gotta do the camel ride, even if I gotta say, "Hey, look, I gotta go this direction." I gotta do the camel ride. I can't be Marissa owning it and not do the camel ride. I gotta do the camel ride. So,
And you will have an opportunity. We have some really good perks and bonuses because we appreciate folks taking time to go with us to such a far but yet unique place.
Mhm.
And so we are going to have dinner in the desert, and you will have an opportunity to have that camel ride. Now, if you're looking for a photo op, which most people are, you'll have that opportunity to get on the camel. And I will tell you, it doesn't look as easy as when you see the photos. It's a little bit intimidating because a camel stands a lot higher than a horse. Now, I love horseback riding.
Yeah.
I love
I
horses.
saw that too when I was stalking you. I was
There,
like, oh, is that her with a horse? So you know we got to do horseback riding together. My
yes,
dad's a black
yes.
cowboy.
But the
So
camel is a little different in the way that the camel gets up. And so the camel is sitting, and you go forward a little bit, and sometimes like you get kind of pushed forward a little, and then all of a sudden you're way up in the air and you're like, oh shoot, this animal is like really big. So it is very interesting. Something else that is going to be optional for people to do at their own leisure is something called the flying dresses. And these are all the things that I share. I've got videos, I've got lots of information when they get on our webinar on Wednesday on the 17th. And the flying dresses, it's a photo op that you can sign up for, and they supply the dresses if you want someone to do your makeup, and you can pick your location. It can be the desert, it can be the marina, which is beautiful, or it can be the beach. But the photos are just like, they're, you will have this enlarged in your home because it is the most beautiful experience. But at the same token, the photos are so beautiful. So there's so much to do. Just relax. Some people, if they just want to relax, some people may want to shop. So, by the way, now I can give away this little tidbit. On next the 17th, next week, when we have our webinar, I'm going to be sharing some of the things that you can get shopping. So I do have shoes from some of my trips. I have the customized perfumed oils. And so I'm going to be sharing a lot of what you can do from a shopping perspective, whether you go to the mini malls that they have, which is really like going to an amusement park. It is it's fun, it's exciting, and you don't have to necessarily be buying. You can just be walking around and just enjoying and taking in the culture.
yeah.
Going to the old souk down by the marina in Dubai, lots of fun, because think of it as the flea market of the US, except you're getting authentic Middle Eastern items. So
Right,
there's
right,
so much
right.
fun, so many things, but we'll talk about all of that, and people can ask all the questions. Now, there are things like insurance for your trip, the different types of insurances. There's also questions like, well, what about if I'm vaccinated, not vaccinated? What's the latest that's happening? We are in touch with the embassy on a weekly basis. And I mean, I'm getting reports. So I'm also giving all of the information around things that concern people about
Right.
traveling that far. So you really want to get on the call because we give a lot of good information.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. It's incredible. Like I said, I'm so looking forward to the opportunity to just glean with you and to just get away, just really, really step away and to enjoy it. I like to chill out. I don't like to be busy when I travel. I want to be lazy. You know what I mean? I just want to relax. I want to rejuvenate and things like that. And so I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much for sharing the opportunity with us, the Own It audience, and the TCS audience, because we need to hear about things like this and we need to be able to have them within our reach, affordable. This is an affordable trip within our reach. And there's so much that you offer that goes above and beyond. Like you said, it's priceless what they'll experience when they do this with you. So I'm looking forward to it. This won't be the last time we have a conversation about it because some folks will see this video and then some of folks won't will be around to see it again. But we'll continue this discussion and we'll keep it, the trip in front of everyone. as we journey towards the actual dates. And so, thank you so very much, Jacqueline.
Mhm.
Revolution Ascensions and the Global Women's Radical Empowerment Retreat is in 2023. It's March into the last part of March into April. And so we are so excited to have you with us. And we're looking forward to having you with us again in the coming weeks to share more and more. And don't forget, audience, to make sure that you go to her Facebook page, LinkedIn, Revolution Ascensions, or you can find her, Jacqueline Lulu Brown, on Facebook. She's all over, so you'll be able to find her. Make sure you find her and make the connections. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Friday. We are out. Take care and have a wonderful weekend.